guys, welcome back to Mojo and the Bro. I know it's been a little bit, but we are officially back again. And yeah, so Jameis and I, we're still at our different places. We're still in quarantine here over in Michigan. So we're all both in our separate living areas right now. And so, yeah, it's made it a little bit problematic for both of us, but we're still overcoming it, trying to figure out this whole Zoom meeting thing.
Yeah,
So,
it's been an interesting transition because we it was so easy to just, all right, Mike, we got to do the podcast today. Like, let's go into the room over there, And
right.
now it's, hey, Mike, we gotta do the podcast sometime.
Yeah. And
Uh,
that, right. Because I think it's like you and I feed off each other's energy so
yeah,
well. So it's like living together, it worked really well. We're like, oh, yeah, like you're hyped for the podcast. Yeah, I'm hyped for the podcast. Let's go. But then it's like, it's harder when you have to like social distance yourself.
yeah, and I'm like texting Mike, and then we're like, do we really want to do it? Like,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
mean,
Right.
it's
Because
once we get to this point, it's fun. But like starting the Zoom meeting,
exactly.
sending him the invite,
Exactly. Yeah.
there's
The
like no easy way
process.
to do that.
Well, even meeting in person, it's just like the process of
Yeah,
like getting it ready. It's kind of like getting out of bed in the morning. It's like
yeah,
no one wants to do it, but then you do it, and you're like, hey, today was a pretty good day. Got to hang out with my friends or talk
yeah.
about whatever.
It's
So
kind of like going to the gym, right? So
I feel that.
you're
I feel
like,
that, bro.
man, I really got to go work out. I really got to go work out. And then the act of actually getting to the gym is like,
Yeah.
I do not want to go.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
hurt myself. And then you're at the gym, you're
exactly.
like, I'm lifting weights and this feels
You're
really
like, dude,
good.
let's go, push it.
You're
And then the
pumped.
next day, you're like, I should not have done that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And so,
It's that process. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like overcoming that mental barrier. I think is really good. I think I definitely got to work more on that in my life.
I think it's a good skill to have in life in general is to be able to do, to overcome that. And I'm
Yeah.
working on it too. Yeah. So, and it shows up in our lives in many different areas. Like when you start a podcast with a guy you don't live
Right.
with,
Right, right.
Um,
So I think last time we actually had our podcast, you were still at the other house, right?
yeah, I was still at an old house.
Yeah.
So I have since
So
moved.
give him an
Um,
update. Yeah.
so I moved down the street, not too far away, actually. Now I don't live that
Actually
far away
pretty
from
close to
Mike.
me
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I could
I live,
literally walk to his house.
yeah. Um, he still doesn't, 'cause, you know.
Yeah, or I could bike, but yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Um,
quarantine breaks.
so if you can't tell, I'm still organizing my room and stuff, which is one of the reasons we've been having trouble starting the podcast back up and getting it go because I haven't had stuff set up.
Moving.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So um, now we're back, and we'll be trying to be more consistent about it. Our
Yep.
goal is to do Saturday and Tuesday. Um,
Yep.
obviously today is Sunday, so be that which it
we have
may, but
we haven't exactly achieved our goal yet. But hey,
so
no judgment yet, okay? We
so
haven't
our
officially started.
yeah,
We'll start on Tuesday, okay?
we'll, we'll start on Tuesday.
We'll get one
Um,
up on Tuesday.
so hopefully we'll have this one up tonight, and I don't plan on doing a whole lot of editing on it, just
Yeah.
because at this point I like
It'll be what
giving
it
you guys the raw
yeah,
content of what we talk about, and then
that's true.
that's what we get. Um,
But a lot has happened since like in the world since
yeah,
we've
yeah, it's crazy.
actually
Like, so most of the states have opened back up from quarantine, or
Mhm.
at least relaxed it quite a bit.
Right, yeah.
Michigan is still in some pretty strict rules. They've taken it down to taken. Taken is not really a word.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm an engineering student, not an English student. All right.
Right, there you go.
Um, so they've taken steps towards opening back up. They've allowed groups of 10 to meet,
Mhm.
10 or less, which is nice. Not like, obviously I went crazy and shaved my head, so um,
Hair was getting long. My hair is getting long, and that is why I'm wearing a hat right now. so you guys just can't see. Maybe I'll post on our Instagram how long my hair actually is. So
And I can post on my Instagram how short my hair actually was because
right,
I literally shaved it with a razor.
completely, yeah, like down to the scalp.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I was my hair was getting long like Mike's, and I was like I had my new roommate. He cut my hair and he cut it with like it was basically like a mohawk, but like he just shaved the sides off down like on my hairline, and so I just
Yeah.
had the top of my head, and I don't know. I didn't mind it, except it wasn't even on the right side. It was just a little bit farther over than on
Yeah,
the left side,
it was.
and it was bugging me. So I tried to fix it, and so then on the right side I went, and it was a little bit farther over now, and so then I was like, all right,
He's like, screw
it
this.
just
He's
went
like,
back and
I'm
forth.
just gonna
And,
literally
so,
just shave my head
but I
completely,
so
dude.
I would have just shaved it like razor, like not razor, but like just
Mhm.
the buzz it off. But I'd already shaved the sides with razor.
So your
So then I
sides
had to just
are
shave the whole thing.
so your sides are completely down to the scalp, and
Yep.
then you just have like some fuzz.
Yep. So that's when I decided to do the reset and just shave it
I
all.
was wondering why you just did the reset. I was like, it's genius. It's
So
genius.
it was not
I
my
completely
original plan
You should
to
you should
shave
just
my
stay
head.
like that, dude. You got it. Yeah, that's
But
funny. It'll probably
this has
grow back.
grown back quite a
Uh,
bit actually.
I know, dude. And it's been like 2 weeks.
No, not even
You
2 weeks.
noticed
No,
it?
it's been like a half a week or something like that. Like maybe a
Yeah,
week. It's been like a
yeah.
week.
I think dude. I
Oh,
don't even know about time anymore.
yeah.
Seriously, it's
Dude, I forgot what
ridiculous.
month it was.
You did. I know. That's right. Yeah, you were. Wasn't it? I think Kenzie's birthday or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's not even May.
I was like,
You
her
realize
birthday's
it
in
is
May.
late May.
It can't be her birthday.
Dude,
And then
the
I was,
only reason, so like, the only reason on that I know what actual date it is, at least for the days I work, is because I have to clock in and clock out and say what date I did that.
gotcha. I don't have to say what
But
date.
then
I
on
just have to
like
click clock in.
right, but then
Clock out.
I wish I could. I wish. But then like Saturday through Monday, I don't even know, dude. I've just lost track at that point.
Yeah. Well, I only know it's the 31st because I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right now. But
Right.
when I had just woken up in the morning waking up, whatever. I just woken up in the morning when I looked at my phone. It said Kenzie's birthday's today, and I'm like, and my brain was just not on yet. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So I know some of you that may be wondering and saw that there were floods in the central Michigan area. Thankfully, Mount Pleasant is elevated pretty high, hence the name Mount Pleasant. But
It's like the flattest
yeah,
town. But yeah,
right,
it just happens to be higher than most of the area around
right,
it. But
exactly. Yeah.
it's still a pretty
So
flat town, which confuses a lot of people.
right, except for that one big hill, like
Yeah,
in
that's
Broadway,
the sledding
downtown.
hill. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mount Pleasant wasn't affected. Unfortunately, I have some friends in Midland that were, and so I went to Midland and helped them out. There's also some other people in Sanford, and then just yeah, family friends in Midland that I helped out, and then another group of people. I didn't even know who they were. I just wanted to help them. So
Gotcha.
it's a lot. It was emotionally tolling. I was so sore the next day. Felt like I was working out,
Kind
and
of
then
like
the next
helping me
day I was
move.
just like dead. Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah, dude. Because moving. So James decided to go
All in one
to
day.
the upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
He chose the upstairs, and I think you had more stuff than all of us combined in that house.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well, I
crazy.
mean, if you count, I took most of the stuff that we co-owned because you guys
That
both
is
moved
true.
back into your parents.
Yeah,
So
that's true. And you also had to take Isaac's stuff. The
yeah.
rest of Isaac's stuff.
So it was kind of like
Kind of yours, but also kind of
yeah.
mine. Yeah, that's true.
So I do own more stuff than all of you, but that
Yeah, that's true.
is a different. Um, I'm working on downsizing the stuff I own because I'm kind of
And it's working.
a random stuff hoarder. And I just store all these boxes of stuff, like old
You had
clothes
your
that definitely don't fit me anymore. I
dude.
still have
We were
those.
going through your thing, and you had what was it? Your senior project board.
Yeah, that was not my senior. No, that was a
Oh, okay.
project from last fall. Was it
So Jameis's senior project. There was
not
something
senior?
that said.
It's a project. It's just a project I did last fall in engineering.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it was
You still had it.
that was my smart bucket. Remember when I did that last
Oh, right.
fall?
That's
Yeah,
right.
so
That's right.
I had a project for one of my electrical engineering classes, um, where we designed a smart bucket that sensed the amount of water that was in the bucket
Yeah.
and um,
It was cool.
filled the bucket back up according to whatever you program it to be. So let's say you want the bucket to stay at least half full. So when it got below half full, it would automatically trigger a um, hose to refill it back up to full.
Yeah.
And then it had
It's a really cool idea.
indicators to let you know what level the water level was at. So if you wanted to know, we also had a part of it that would be connected to a phone app that you could control it
Mhm.
remotely. Um, and so
Oh wow, I didn't
we
know.
didn't actually design that part because we weren't about to program a phone app, and we weren't actually like ever gonna release. It probably already exists. It was simple. Our idea is that like for certain applications, um, in the world, like say you have like a something that needs to be keep like a bucket that needs to be full. Like we're thinking like bigger scale buckets. This was a small bucket that we actually built, but like a larger scale bucket, say a cooling system for a power plant or something.
Yeah, that's a
Their
pretty
power
cool
plant.
idea.
So like it's very important that the cooling reservoir is always has water in it. And
That
so
makes sense.
this was a an idea for keeping that full.
Yeah. But needless to say, you have a lot of stuff. Or had a
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
man.
I wanted to give the backstory on that because
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and then we have this the protests for uh, I guess civil rights in the modern age.
Yeah. Ending
And
systemic racism.
yeah, um, just
Yeah, I've heard some people it's called 2020, like it's the 1960s, but on meth. We got the protests, right? We still got racism going on,
yeah.
um, stronger than ever. And
Well, we have
protests,
protests on multiple fronts. We have
yep,
protests
all over.
protesting the quarantine,
Uh, yep, protests on the
and
quarantine
then you
and
have
in big and small cities, right?
yeah,
And so,
and then you have the protests on systemic racism and that problem that is, and the way that they're treated completely differently by our own government and president and everything. And then you have the like random fires everywhere. We have random flooding everywhere. Um,
yeah,
it's just crazy. Yeah, like um,
there's so much chaos right now. Yeah, and like I mean, yeah, I speak for both Jameis and I. We're all for the Black Lives Matter movement. But I know, like, for both of us, it's hard. I mean, obviously, we are two
with
white
the whitest guys,
guys,
yeah.
right? So it's like, do we really have a say in the matter?
Or yeah, or is there really
And
much we can do
and
with
is
the
and
limited
if
influence we
right,
have?
if there is, like, what can we do to help um do our part, right? Um, so, and I think like the biggest thing that we can do right now is just educate ourselves, educate others that are wondering, and just make sure that we aren't like just quick to judge and quick to just like as soon as something's out on the media, we aren't just like bashing everyone in their opinion right? That's just going to lead to more evil and more arguments and
Yeah.
protests, fires, everything. It's just really sad. Um,
Yeah, and the thing is, it's been going on for so long. It's kind of weird that now is the time that it I guess ignited the fire even more.
right. Yeah.
But like
And I understand because I
the
mean,
pro,
if you
I
watch
mean,
that video, it's a super tragic video
yeah,
of
and
George Floyd.
the but like there's tons of them. Like they've
Yeah.
been
Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah, there are.
and but like protests have been going on for a long time in different ways, and like the peaceful protests obviously just haven't worked. Like
Yeah. I think this was just the last straw,
yeah,
honestly, for
and it
so
wasn't
many
necessarily it didn't
communities.
start violent. Like um from what I read that the police were fired tear gas and stuff before any violence occurred. Which was baffling to me. Why
Yeah.
that like
Right.
um but I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like your
And
job is to like protect the people, not and just like if stuff does occur, then their job is to keep it from happening. But I don't understand how they can also just like fire random tear gas into a peaceful protest. That just
yeah,
doesn't register for me why that would be allowed.
thing. Yep. I agree, bro. I agree.
So
Yeah. And on top of the whole 1960s comparison, you also have the space launch today or yesterday
yesterday,
too, right?
I did not watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not. Remember
As
what I
an
was
engineer,
doing.
I figured you would.
Um,
It's pretty cool.
I'm not that into space.
Gotcha. I love space. I wish I was smart enough to do it. But although I was watching the pilots today because they're live streaming on like, hey, like they're at the ISS and now they're docking and they're just trying to figure out the process to getting like inside the ISS from the Dragon.
Oh, was that the goal to get to the International Space Station?
Yes.
Oh,
So the thing is, this is the first. So this is SpaceX and NASA working together, and this is the first um, uh, like outside company other than commercial use rocket
okay,
that's actually launched and like successfully and docked at the ISS. Big
gotcha.
historical moment. It's pretty cool. And obviously, now the goal is with this partnership is to eventually get send people to the moon once again. And yeah, once we do that, I don't know. Hopefully Mars. It'd be cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just
Also,
I don't know. At this point we've sent so many people into space. I don't know. It feels like it shouldn't be that difficult anymore.
right, right. But I think it's a different process every time.
Yeah.
You have different ships, different controls. Although I was watching the pilots, and it's like they didn't have to do anything. It was all automated for them. The piloting, I mean, they're just talking to Houston on the line
Yeah.
and the ISS,
Yo,
and
what's
they're
up,
like, "Hey,
Bob?
here's the process." Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was actually one of the astronauts' name is Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, it was like I forget.
That was just
It was
my
him and I think some other woman. So it's really cool. But yeah, I I think they were traveling at gosh, I want to say it was like 7,000 miles an hour or something like that.
Jeez, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm more of a
And
car
it's
guy.
like over
I'm
150,000 miles from here to the ISS.
Gotcha. So that's my goal as an engineer. I want to work for one of the car companies. So that's
There you
um
go.
so
What about
anything
space cars?
cars. I mean maybe eventually,
There
if
you
that
go.
happens. But for
Flying
right now,
cars.
it's regular cars.
James is out here working on diesel, but next is space cars.
They're already flying, but I'm still working on the fusion.
But I'm still working on my diesel truck. Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I don't know. I own a Ford as a car, but I think I want to work for like GM. I as a company, I
Okay.
think I like GM more.
Okay.
Uh, as vehicles, I like Ford's cars more.
Gotcha.
But obviously, if I worked for GM, I would like their cars more. But because I'd be designing the car, so I can't hate a
Right.
car I
Exactly.
design, you know,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
or truck, I
So
guess.
you'd want to do the design work of the actual car.
Yeah. So I'm going into electrical engineering, so it would be more of the electrical components of the car.
Okay.
So
It's what
um,
my step uncle does. He designs cars. He's worked with Tesla too, and he thinks they're interesting.
what
He
is a
thinks they're a
step
cool
uncle?
idea. Well, so he's like, um, he's not actually like my uncle. He's like my aunt's second husband. So I kind
Well,
of
so
call
that
him.
would still be your uncle
Yeah, basically. I just kind
because
of call him as a step uncle.
okay, because I have um like my uncle's wife is still my aunt, you know,
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
and
right, right,
so
yeah.
like I don't know, I get, but that would actually be I guess my step uncle because it's my mom's
Yeah.
stepbrother.
I mean, it's
So
funny. I see him more as an uncle as than my than her first husband because I don't really know her first husband as well.
yeah,
But, yeah, I don't know.
it's
It's cool,
family
like
trees are
what
kind of
he's told me
weird.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's cool from what he's told me, and um, he thinks Tesla's an interesting company. Some of their parts are just really weird the way they do things, but um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's cool
I definitely agree
and
with that.
whatnot.
The Tesla is changing the game completely with like oh let's just throw this in here. You know, like,
And I mean, if like I was just watching a video on the Cybertruck today, and oh, I forget who was driving it. I'm gonna look really quick.
was it Jay Leno?
It was Jay Leno. Thank you. Completely, his name just completely passed me. Yeah, so it's Jay
He
Leno
was
and
driving it in that
Elon
one
Musk
tube.
in
Yeah,
the tunnel in the
yeah.
Boring Company tunnel. Which,
I
dude,
didn't
that would
actually
be
watch that
so
video, but
cool
I
to
saw
do.
the thumbnail for
Oh,
that
you
video.
saw the thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be so cool to actually drive through that, and I don't know. I
You
would
drive through it, but
really
to drive through it in a Tesla Cybertruck is even cooler, you know.
yeah, for sure. But yeah,
Elon
so I
Musk is
think,
such an interesting person in general. Like the
dude,
man just
honestly,
starts all of
like,
these companies for his
well, and
weird
because he
passions, you
has so
know.
many dreams, right? And what I was gonna say is, I think like he's a really cool creative guy, and seems really down to earth. Sometimes I wonder like how he's able to both explain from a like something from a very scientific point of view. Like he's a
Uh-huh.
very smart, intelligent man, but also in layman's terms, so your common everyday Jay Leno.
Yeah, so I hear he's a complete workaholic though. Um and
Yeah,
he
I've heard that too.
I've been told that by a friend
I've
who knows somebody who works like directly under him that he expects like total devotion to
That makes
the
sense
yeah, and so
to the
it's
company,
just he's just very hard to work for in at least if you're higher up and like right underneath him it's really hard to do,
especially because you're
which
in the shadow,
makes sense because
right?
like I said he starts all of these companies. Like you don't do that if you don't
Work a lot.
work a lot.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so he's the
And make a
CEO
lot.
of Tesla, which is now a major car manufacturer. And then he's
Hmm.
also got SpaceX, which is partnering with NASA, you know, and then he's got the Boring Company
Right.
making weird,
And
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 then
didn't Trump like announce like an official space force now?
oh I don't
And
know.
it looks like I think Trump announced like he's launching an official space force, like a space army almost. And
Okay.
there's gonna be like there's the official flag, and the flag literally looks a like the Star Trek flag. Whoever designed the flag, it looks exactly like the Star Trek flag. And I'm like,
Uh,
okay, well, if aliens come, we're ready,
we
guys.
got
We
it.
are ready.
We got it. But then he's got that like the not a flamethrower or whatever. Do you ever see anything about
Yes,
that?
dude. The
The flamethrower.
the Boring Company flamethrower. I want to get my
Um,
hands on that. And it comes with a they can't ship propane, so they send you like the money for it. I think they send you like a $5 bill or something, so you can literally go like with the flamethrower, or at least they used to. That way you can go
I don't
and
think
buy
you can buy it
propane.
anymore. I think it was like a limited edition type thing.
Maybe it'd be interesting.
Um,
Someone check that for us.
but
That'd be cool.
it was the not a flamethrower because they couldn't call it a flamethrower.
Yeah, the not a flamethrower. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
But he also
But
had the Sun Solar or whatever company at one point in time.
like
something,
solar energy.
yeah, they make like solar actual roofing tiles instead of like, so you can actually make your roof out of solar panels.
Right, I do remember
they
that.
were like
Yeah.
bricks or something. I don't remember, but it was a while back that it was in the news for that. I don't remember. I think it's called Sun Solar.
Okay.
If I'm correct, but I'm not exactly sure. I can
Just
look it up
into
later.
how many companies he has.
Yeah, the man's got like more companies than the average Joe for sure.
Exactly. So, but anyways, guys, I think that's gonna conclude our episode just for today. We will have it up later today, and then yeah, our plan is to keep it consistent Tuesdays and Saturday.
Yeah, we're still working out the details on the time, but as of right now, we're I think going for 7:30 Eastern time, so Eastern Standard Time, which would be 6 o'clock Central, and who knows every other time zone.
Yeah, and we're debating whether that's like when we'll start recording or if we'll have it uploaded by then.
Yeah, we're thinking we're toying with the idea of staying with the live schedule and like live streaming them. But we haven't confirmed that. But at least that's when we'll be recording. We may release it later that night.
That's true.
So
anyway,
we'll let you guys know.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So keep up on our social media and like and subscribe.
Yeah. See you guys.